After the first hour, if your run goes longer than 1 hour, for every hour after that, you'll want to have about 200 to 300 calories.
Yeah, you know a lot about training and talking with you in the gym and stuff, and what you're kind of stumbling upon now with the system that you've been working on for a long time, kind of experimenting with yourself. And I'm sure you have a lot of conversations with your brother and stuff like that too, where you guys are talking all kinds of different game plans.
Oh, yeah.
When you did this 500 plus pound deadlift and this 50 miles in one day, I saw the video that Ryan Soper edited together. It was really
Amazing.
cool, inspiring. But I heard you kind of consistently, rather than just saying like, I, set up this program, you said we. So like, are you like communicating with some other people and taking other people's ideas as well and kind of bringing it into your training for this particular thing? Or
I mean,
was it stuff
more than anyone, probably you. I mean, the stuff we talk about here. You helped me with the strength side of it. Like, I had no strength background or anything.
Yeah, I know we did talk about it, but I'm like, I never done that before.
No, you were the one. The first time I ever sumo deadlifted, which apparently was my preferred style. I mean, I deadlift both ways, but as my preferred style was, you were the one who was like, hey, you should try it out. And I did, and it clicked. And Andre definitely helped me work with it, But I say we, like Wild Hunt, it's mostly just me as far as the business stuff, but I have a lot of good people, friends, that help or contribute something to it. And so it just doesn't seem right to be like, all right, guys, so I went out there and I did this. When there's people, the guy who printed this shirt for me. And then there's, there's the friends who advise me on how to run a social media account. And so you tag the relevant accounts and do your hashtag, all that stuff that I had no idea. Like, I'm not tech savvy at all, like all this stuff in the beginning. So it just seems disingenuous to talk about the things I've done when I've had so many good people along the way.
Yeah, we were trying to talk strategy of like how to do like 500-pound deadlift in a 50-mile. It just seemed like you would be dead to try to like deadlift 500 pounds afterwards.
I wouldn't. Well, just in the injury risk alone would not. I wouldn't. I would. Yeah.
So the choice to do it beforehand seems like fairly obvious, but like fuel, like fueling up and eating, and we discussed some of that. And I think one big mistake people make with competition a lot of times is they think they need to do something in particular on the day that's like different than what they're used to, and that's probably the biggest mistake on a run or jiu-jitsu. I can't imagine in jiu-jitsu like eating something that just doesn't agree with you.
You see
that's got to be a disaster.
You see that with runners who try to do all these gels and stuff. You know what I mean? That their stomachs aren't used to
in the bathroom the whole time.
Oh yeah, if they're lucky enough to have a bathroom nearby. I've seen some things go another way on that. But they're ducking off trails, and it just So I did the same thing I always do. Same thing, competing in jiu-jitsu and anything. I do the same thing. I bring some extra electrolytes, extra food, whatever I'm going to need to replace what I use. I figured out a pretty decent way to kind of calculate. Oh, this might be useful to you for running. When your runs go, well, I can't take entire credit for this. There's a rugby coach named Jack Taylor out of Britain who I've actually learned a lot of good stuff from him. He's a really good dude, and he was one of the first to, for no benefit of his own, support me when I was starting out.
Oh, cool.
But it is essentially after the first hour, if your run goes longer than 1 hour, for every hour after that, you'll want to have about 200 to 300 calories, 8 to 10 grams of protein, 16 ounces of water, and some electrolytes. So that kind of helps you give you an idea about how much you're going to need to, carry with you on.
Is there a body weight component?
I'm using the range to kind of compensate for most of that. Okay. So it's like, 8 to 10, 200 to 300, you know what I mean? But so like if you were going to get into it, we'd talk. I might have you bring a little extra with you.
Our Roger family, how's it going? Now, we love these fucking legendary tasty pastries, and you already know how good they are, but I want a hot tip for you. I want to give you a hot tip. Number one.
Hot heat.
When you eat these things, 20 grams of protein, 5 grams of net carbs, put it in the microwave for 15 seconds. All right, we talked about how it can fit any single diet because it's high protein, very low carb. But if you put it in the microwave for 15 seconds, my fucking God, it will melt in your mouth. I highly suggest you could do this with any flavor, but if you can get your hands on the hot fudge sundae, Oh, baby, Andrew, you're the one who put me on this shit, man.
Yes, seriously, you guys have to try this, but please do not microwave it for more than 15 seconds because the inside turns nuclear. But to me, this tastes like an old school chocolate donut for some reason. When you microwave it, it completely changes the flavor and it changes it for the better. But you guys got to head over to eatlegendary.com and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your entire order. Again, that's at eatlegendary.com. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to this podcast.
It is interesting because like it doesn't matter how much fuel you have in your body. Once you have put an output out there, regardless of your conditioning, because if you're conditioned well, that will probably mean your output will be higher and you'll probably be moving faster. So you'll be similarly fatigued as somebody that is maybe heavier and slower. Yeah. Because the effort is still
things do scale for sure.
Yeah, the effort is still high, so it's like you at some point you kind of do need fuel. I went out on a run the other day and it took me like around 2 hours, and as soon as I got to like that 2 hour mark, like my legs started to, I was like, oh god damn.
Well, there's also, how about the quality of your run? Like if you stop and you get down an Aussie bite in a little way or whatever, you know what I mean? After an hour, that second hour, let it digest, do whatever you got to do, but that second hour, the quality of that second hour of training is going to be higher too. And your experience with it is probably going to be higher too.
What type of stuff do you carry with you? Like specifically to meet those needs of the electrolytes, of protein, what do you take?
I use a lot of the electrolytes from here or just the Element or whatever. Those are the two brands I've liked. The liquid IVs are fine, but the two that I like are the Within You and the Element. I do Aussie Bites or a piece of fruit.
Aussie Bites?
Yeah, they're just these little, I get them at Costco. They're these little bites. It's like dried dates, some dried seeds, and you know what I mean, stuff like that, coconut. And I just like, they're tasty. They're easy to get down. It's clean energy. They're pretty dense. And so I'll throw a couple of those in, or just like a plum or something like that. Because I like peaches and plums on like the hot runs, you know.
And those taste so good.
So good. So good.
Why do you like those versus the gels? Because runners love gels, right? And they have calories. So why do you like those more?
I don't know. I like real food in general. Most of my protein of the day comes from like actual food. I drink whey and
People
stuff.
People are obsessed with those gels.
Is it
those goo packs?
Yep, that's them.
Right I've had those before. Those are dangerous, bro.
And Nsima didn't know those were for running. Those are supposed to be for running.
Yeah, no.
And one box is in a serving.
I fucked up one of my friends. Like she had that, and I just ate like almost the whole thing.
I went through a phase where I was taking those. I was drizzling MCT oil on the top and then sprinkling that cinnamon roll flavor god. Oh my god! And they make them individually packaged too, so I'll throw a couple in there.
Like each one's like 600 calories.
Yeah, they're like 150, but yeah, pretty good.
They're so good.
Pretty good.
You're supposed to swim to Australia to earn the right to eat some of these.
So unrelated, I just bought a share in Aussie Bites and. No, that's just, but yeah, they're good. Piece of fruit's fine too.
Yeah.
Most of what I eat is pretty heavily on the fruit and meat and veggies, seafood, stuff, you know what I mean? So I stick with it. I'm not like, no restrictive dieting, but I just find my body likes kind of the realer, more primitive foods better in general.
You still have time for jiu-jitsu?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm training right now probably more than I have in a while. Last few months, since I did the deadlift ultra, I just kind of took some time to get back into grappling since I hadn't been able to, through the prep for the deadlift ultra, I'd been grappling like twice a week or something, you know, but I kind of missed it and wanted to make it more of a priority. And then I took the time.
Peeps, we love bringing you all this fitness information, and we also want to help bring that information to more people. So if you could help us out, hit that red subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, and we'll continue to bring you the heat. And I won't whisper in your ear. Talk to you guys later.